Hi, I'm Glenn Simpson, and I've collected comics for over 40 years, and I'm showing off my collection one box at a time. Today we're going through box 21, which is all Batman Volume 1 from around the early 80s on through the 2000s or so. We're going to have a good time. Glad you're here. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how it's going. If you'd like to see anything that I skip over because it's inside of a pack, I'm happy to make that happen. So let's go. All right, picking up where we left off, I'm going to try to move fast because we've got a lot of individual issues here. We've got Batman 348, Man Bat, Robin, Batcave. They've moved back to the Wayne Manor because they were living in the penthouse in Gotham City there before. We've got Big Boy Book 349. First appearance of somebody in Batman 349. And then we've got 350, another Big Boy book. Got Batman versus Vampires. 351. Batman is a vampire. Oh no. 352. On the other hand, he's going to fight Colonel Blimp or whatever, a villain who specializes in blimps. 353. Bringing back the Joker. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez cover. Really super long chin Joker. Awesome. Little pack 354. Batman, Boss Thorn, Hugo Strange. Jump into 356. Hugo Strange still. Batman fighting himself. Oh no. 357. Big Boy book. Coming from the Big Boy box. First appearance of Jason Todd. Batman at 357. Meanwhile, he's fighting the Squid. As you do. 358. Ongoing Jason Todd in Batman 358 as part of that storyline. 359. This may be the first appearance of Killer Croc. Killer Croc, the crime boss, not the just sort of swamp monster guy. He generally kind of works back and forth between DC can't make up their mind on. He's recruiting all the villains. Gonna get Batman. During this time, we're kind of storylines are bouncing back and forth between, or they will soon start bouncing back and forth between Batman and Detective. So you may only see half the storyline. 360, Batman versus the Savage Skull. There. 361. Sorry. Classic comics sliding in the box over here. Sorry. Hang on. Alright. Man Bat stealing Jason Todd because he's upset at Batman for not healing Man Bat's kid, so he's gonna steal Batman's kid. As it were. 362. Batman. Walt Simonson cover. Only thing I don't like about Walt Simonson, he does that thing where he covers up half of the symbol. I never liked that. But anyway, Walt Simonson, Batman, Riddler. 363. Nocturna. Big time story character in these 80s, early 80s. She's gonna try to steal Jason away from Batman, and he's looking for a new mother and all kinds of stuff. She's not a vampire or anything. She's just a strong albino kind of person. But first, I believe Nocturna. 364. Chimera. Batman versus Chimera. I don't think we really saw much of him ever again. 365, bringing Vicky Vale back into the continuity there. Hadn't seen her in a while. Another big boy book. I think just because it's Batman versus Joker. Batman 366. Right there. Put that back over here. 367. Batman versus Poison Ivy. Ed Hannigan covers. 368. There's a big boy book. Got Batman with Jason Todd actually putting on the Robin suit and becoming Robin, but in his own, not in his own suit. Well, I guess he never has his own suit, does he? Thinking of Tim Drake. Anyway, 369, Batman fighting Deadshot for you Suicide Squad fans. And that jumps to 372, Batman versus, what was he? He's the film, is it the Film Freak? Something like that. And he liked to box. He's a boxer. 373, Batman and Robin versus the Scarecrow. And Batman 373. 374, bringing back the Penguin. I always liked that jumping through the window thing there. Don Newton, oh my gosh, he was he died young, or died too soon, or whatever. But he was an amazing artist, and I loved him on Batman. Don Newton cover right there. 375. 375. Oh no, Mr. Freeze has froze. Jason Todd. And, I think we had Julia Pennyworth, Alfred's daughter, hanging out. A little bit of a love triangle there with Vicky Vale and whatnot. 376, Nightmares Inc. Kind of a Mysterio group coming in, causing some problems. Also of note, how long Jason Todd was around before the Crisis changed his origin, and and then he got killed. Like, he was around for a long time, for it seems like 5 or 6 years before any of that happened. So I think we had more old Jason than we had new Jason. Batman 380. Oh, what's that guy's name? That guy's in love with Nocturna, and he doesn't like Batman sniffing around. And he will take Batman's place. He's the guy with the beard. And they resolve their issues. Kind of a nondescript cover here, but Paris Cullins, great DC artist. One of the ones that I'm not, I usually like the more realistic artists, not as stylistic, but Paris Cullins was great. I could always enjoy some Paris Cullins from Blue Devil, early Blue Beetle. We've got 386, big boy book, first appearance of Black Mask, right there. 387, continuing the Black Mask storyline. There, Tom Mandrake on art, famous for the Spectre. 390, Batman still dealing with Nocturna. I guess she was around for a while. 391, still in that whole night guy, Nocturna, Jason thing going on. Then 394, Paul Gulacy, who's kind of a Marvel artist, comes in, does a Batman storyline, art on Batman storyline, think about poisoning the water in Gotham. $3.95. The big deal was something there was happening something that month where they would put a fish on every Batman cover or something like that. And I'm not saying that where the fish is, but I'm just saying there's a fish. But so there was some internal joke about putting a fish on everything. $3.99. Kind of got them in a little trouble there at DC. A little bit too morbid a cover, but beginning this part of this Headhunter storyline. A storyline that takes a brief break for 400 for this all-star cast to do individual pages, or 1 or 2 pages each, of Batman 400. DC once again using the term anniversary to refer to just a big round number. Hopefully your copy doesn't have big fingerprints on it like mine does. We jump back, I think. We got Max Allen Collins doing some storyline there, kind of a serial killer. A storyline that once again, either I can't remember if that ends or just takes a break for Batman Year 1, Batman 404. Right there, Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli. Issue 404 there. Got 405 right there. And once you get past the first 2 parts of that, the value of each individual issue kind of goes down, so it ends up getting packaged here. So 406 right there, and you don't get to see. Put in the comments if you want me to open up this pack and show the other cover. 410, Batman: The New Adventures by Max Collins. Doing some Dave Cockrum from Marvel doing artwork. Kind of retelling again some storylines there. Found the Two-Face. 411, continuing that story with him going up against Two-Face there. 414 rather. I think we're back. I seem to remember the storylines jumping around a little here, but maybe not. But Jim Starlin doing some stories about another serial killer. At least we're not doing Joker, Penguin, Catwoman every month. 415, Jim Starlin, Jim Aparo doing a latest issue, doing part of the Millennium crossover. 418, 10 Nights of the Beast. Now we're really getting into, multi-issue arcs and collectible storylines, trade paper, things that can be written for the trade. Part 2, Mike Zeck cover there. Got 419 right there. Fighting the KG Beast. KG Beast not wearing a whole lot of clothes. 422. Jim back. We're back with knives again. So what is it with the knives on Batman 422? Here we go. Classic big boy book, Batman 423. Todd McFarlane cover on the story. Nobody cares what's inside. It's just what's going on. It's just this Todd McFarlane cover is a big deal. 424. We have Nasty Robin. We've switched to Nasty Jason, and this whole story of him letting a diplomat's son who is suspected of sexual assault fall off of a ledge. 425 right there, kind of continuing some of that storyline. We get to A Death in the Family. storyline where with Mike Mignola covers the story of the Joker killing Jason Todd. 426. Now I needed to make space in my bookshelves, so I happen to also have a trade of this. Weirdly enough, this is one of the few times that I hear about the trade kind of going up in value significantly and being kind of traded within the comic book collecting community. This being the first printing of A Death in the Family. Mine is not in 9/8, however, so it is not overly valuable. But anyway, back to book 2 of that. Right there. 428. Right there. Grayson not looking real good. And 429. Now that he's dead, nobody cares. But the final issue of that story of A Death in the Family. And then we jump to Batman 433. Many Deaths of Batman. One of the first storylines, I feel like there's been more than one, where all of Batman's teachers are being killed and dressed up in Batman suits, which is what we see here. But we got John Byrne. Well, we got John Byrne writing, I think, and doing the covers. Aparo art inside. Right there. 437. Got Jason Todd coming in. Lots of flashbacks to, well, of course, Batman Year 3 is going back and telling the story of Dick Grayson coming to become Robin. George Perez covers on that, crossing over with New Teen Titans at the time, and beautiful, beautiful artwork. I have these in black and white, all of those covers framed on my wall. It's awesome. 438, continuing that. Just look at the oh my god, George Perez, just beautiful, beautiful stuff there. And that culminates with, wait, sorry, I got so excited I left one out. Batman 441. We're flashing back to to whether Dick Grayson wants to hand it off to, I mean, he's not using it, but whether he wants to hand it off to Tim Drake. And Tim Drake, temporarily anyway, starts wearing the actual costume, because of course he does, in Batman 442. And 446, we've got kind of a follow-up to 10 Nights of the Beast, where Batman fights the NKV Demon, as opposed to the KG Beast. People who are more politically savvy about Soviet Union acronyms, or whatever, well, that would be funnier to them. 447, continuing that storyline, I believe. Mark Wolfman doing the stories there. Batman 450. Joker getting upset because somebody's impersonating him. I think that's another storyline we've seen more than once, but I believe this might be the first one. Hey, 3 Jokers. All right. 451. Continuing that Joker storyline there. 454. Batman, Dark Knight, Dark City, Riddler. Peter Milligan, sort of one of the Vertigo-related writers, doing an arc there. And we're getting into some big packs. So, Alan Grant doing writing, Grant Brayfogle artwork. Some people consider him one of the great Batman artists, as exemplified on Batman 455. We've got Batman 462 with this sort of mystical, if I remember correctly, storyline. Got Batman 463. Right there. A dog. Batman 466. Getting chained up to the bottom of a rocket. I'm sure he's going to die, right? That's, how could he possibly get out of that? Series ends. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. 467. Some of the follow-up from Robin's. He's been having his mini-series where he's becoming Robin, or becoming better Robin, more better Robin. And some of the follow-up from that. Tom Lyle artwork on that. For a while, Tom Lyle was the Robin artist. Right there, Batman 467. Jumping back to 470. Norm Brayfogle is back. Right there, Maxie Zeus. 471. Bringing back Killer Croc. Alan Grant, Norm Brayfogle. 474, part of the Destroyer storyline. The whole deal here was the guy that did the designs for the architecture of Gotham City for the first Michael Keaton Batman. They took a bunch of his designs and just used them in the story. That was like the whole point of the story, was to just get those designs into a comic book. Let's see, we've got the return of Scarface right here in 475. Going up against Gatman. If you know, you know. 478. We've got this guy, Tom Taggart, that did these like little photographic minifig covers. And did one for Batman 478. Got 479. Oh gosh, what was her name? She was kind of a she-woman, man-hater kind of thing. And she goes up against Batman in 479. We've got 482. Batman going up against a bunch of assassins, some of which we've seen before, some of which we haven't. There. 483. Batman and Robin up against Crash and Burn. Don't recall seeing them ever again. And then 486. Metalhead with his somewhat ridiculous thing coming off his head that he could smack you with. I guess that was, at least you would laugh so hard you wouldn't see him stabbing you. 487. Batman versus Headhunter with his skulls on his cheeks. He's scary. 490. Travis Charest became a big name artist. I can't figure out what it is about his art. Is it the eyes are too far apart? I don't know. It's not bad, but there's just, what is it that's so uncanny about it? It's just, I can never quite figure out. But something about the eyes. But he would go on to be a big, image type artist right there. 491. Okay, people are gonna comment to tell me what I'm a jerk, but I'm not a Kelly Jones fan. I feel like it's just too stylized, but people love it. So we got a Kelly Jones cover on Batman 491. We're getting into Nightfall here. 494. Scarecrow. Kelly Jones cover on that. Payne is throwing things at Batman to wear him down. Batman 495 with his ridiculously long ears. Going up against Poison Ivy. Right there. 498. Batman and We got Bane with his really big shoulder muscles. Catwoman, not really seeming to be in her normal I love Batman kind of way, but anyway, 498, part of Nightfall. Other people will show you the exact issues with where these bad things happen. I dance around it. I show you the issues right before and right after. So 499. I believe that must be Jean-Paul Valley because he's got the gloves on and he has taken over as Batman. We've got 502, full-on Jean-Paul Valley. Night Quest has begun. John Paul's got his first of two major different Batman suits. Right there. 503, new Batman meets Catwoman. I give Kelly Jones, well, I guess I was going to say give him credit, but I mean, he is kind of showing a lot of badonkadonk there. There, 503. And 508. Kind of a dark Kelly Jones cover right there. Continuing Night Quest. 507. We've got Batman going up against some mercenary type. Jim Ballant doing interior art. Hey, of Catwoman fame. Batman 507. Batman 510. Now we're into Night's End. We've got ridiculously long ears. We've got Jean-Paul Valley in his Batman suit. 510. And hey, let's take a break and have 0 Hour. So 0 Hour, we have a Batgirl from the past travel to the present and team up with our heroes. Nightwing, and his Nightwing is not his second suit, but 0 Hour, good stuff. Then we got to get gritty again. We're going to go to, we got Prodigal, which is the first time Dick Grayson becomes Batman and wears a suit, but he just wears the same suit as Batman does. Right there, Batman 514. Troika, the return of Bruce Wayne as Batman. He's kind of got less blue, more black on the suit. And right there, 515. 518, we've got the return of Kelly Jones. We've got maybe not so ridiculously long ears, but still pretty ridiculously long. Got the return of Black Mask. Got 519, Black Spider, which I think I recall from the Who's Who, so I don't think this is his first appearance or anything. Going up against Batman. Got 522, the match made in heaven, Killer Croc and Swamp Thing. Batman's like, I've got to take in Killer Croc, and Swamp Thing's like, no, you don't. Getting into some lower value issues here. Batman 523, Batman versus Scarecrow. Actually, in an actual physical confrontation. That's never a good idea for them. For Scarecrow. Got 530. So we got the Kelly Jones people discover what Kelly Jones's dead man looks like. And that will become a thing for a while. The emaciated, hey, he's dead, isn't he? Kind of look to Dead Man. 530. And we're not even really there yet. This is just a little bit dead of man. Very long D to go with the very long ears. Batman 531. Right there. 534 Legacy crossover, something to do with Ra's al Ghul. Super long ears. Doug Minch, Gemma Perro. They did at this time, they tried to do, because they'd gotten so far away from it, tried to do some one-of-one issues where the whole story's resolved in the one issue. So we've got that one here. I think that's Amygdala. We've got 538, Batman trying to save Man-Bat in the snow, as it were. 539, Batman swimming in skulls. Oh, this Boneyard Blues, kind of a spooky villain guy. 542, Batman. This is not a question appearance. This just happens to be some sort of identity issue. 543, Batman dealing with somebody. That's what it says on his chest. Somebody. Batman 546 with the Joker, going up the Joker, and the Demon, I believe, is floating around. Etrigan the Demon is involved in that storyline. 547, part of the Genesis crossover. Lots of heroes losing their powers. Right there, Kelly Jones beauty cover, one-of-one story right there. 550, presumably the first appearance of Chase of the DEO. Apparently nobody cares because it's not a red dot book or anything. But it is the 38 page anniversary adventure here, because that's a nice, that's a issue number that ends in 0. Right there, J.H. Williams III, who would go on, I think, to draw the Chase in the Chase series, brief as it was. Character's still around. Ooh, one of my favorites, Batman meets the Ragman. Great stories with Ragman. Getting into the supernatural, he was originally just kind of a more well, there was a little bit of weirdness. He did get some superpowers, but getting into that whole his costume is the source of his powers thing here in the sort of post-crisis world. And 554. Oh no, we've got Cataclysm. We've reached the great earthquake in Gotham here, and this guy Quake Master is claiming to have done it. Let's see, 555. Cool Batman beauty cover by Kelly Jones, dealing with the aftershocks of the earthquake. 558, Batman engaging in rescue operations after the earthquake there. Let's see, 559. Got Batman still dealing with some regular folks after the earthquake in Gotham. 562, we're on the road to no man's land. What's the government going to do about this Gotham and all of the destruction that's gone on there? So Bruce Wayne is going to Washington to speak on behalf of of Gotham. And it doesn't go well, because then we get to no man's land, where the government has just basically cut off Gotham. We have J. Scott Campbell doing a Batman cover here of the Joker. It's just a dude. There's no female in there at all. What's going on with that? J. Scott Campbell, unique cover. So, dealing with the Joker there. 566. Answering the question. So there's just been a huge earthquake in Gotham. Why doesn't Superman come and help? Art by John Bogdanove, who was doing one of the Superman books at the time. And that was Batman 566. So that means this must be 567. First, Cassandra Cain as Batgirl. Right there, big boy book. Good stuff, good stuff. 568. I believe Poison Ivy. Get some of these really sweet Glenn Orbick painted covers. They're awesome. Dealing with the earth, since it was an earthquake, dealing with Poison Ivy, that kind of thing. Batman 569. Some more Cassandra Cain as Batgirl. Gotta understand, we had not had a Batgirl in a long, long time, so everybody was very excited about having a Batgirl. 570, more Batman more Joker during the earthquake. Mike Deodato, Cub artwork inside. There, DiMaggio art on the cover. There. 571. Payne, it comes to the earthquake prone, earthquake damaged Gotham. Some plot about destroying all the public records, so when it gets rebuilt, nobody will know who owns what. And at some point, we get out of they get to the other side of that earthquake storyline, and we are back into sort of a normal Batman thing. Scott McDaniel, known for his Nightwing art, doing art on Batman, kind of in the whole new trade dress. We'll see it more and better in a second. So we're back to more of a normal, not no man's land kind of Batman stories. We got Batman 576 as part of that. That's the trade dress with we got the symbols and the things and beauty cover there. And Batman dealing with this Orca character who is a crime boss undersea. Well, I don't know if she's a crime boss, but she may have just been killing folks, as they do. But that's Batman 580. We got Batman's way cool skin diver armor or skin diver suit for dealing with Orca here in Batman 581. Right there. We've got this super artistic artist interpretation of Batman. Kind of, I think, a story on how people see Batman in Gotham City. 584. We got the Penguin right here. Batman getting somebody's got, I don't know if that's Bruce, but he's wearing a bat suit. There in 585. 588. Batman doing some stuff in his secret ID. I think this was, so he had for years been taking on the identity of this Matches Malone as who was a criminal, and he was a way for him to get into the underworld and gather information as a criminal. People thought that Matches was another criminal, and I think in this storyline we find out there really was a Matches Malone, and where he came from and what happened to him. That's Batman 588. Batman 589, continuing the Matches Malone storyline. 592, Batman going up against Deadshot again. For you Suicide Squad fans, or just Deadshot fans. There. And then 593. Batman going up against some kind of critter. We're getting into more sci-fi stuff. We're in the Our Worlds at War crossover that was going on in all the books. And so this is going to be less of a gritty Gotham story and more of a superhero kind of thing in Batman 593. And finally we have Batman 596. This is a part of the Joker last laugh. Joker thinks he's dying, so he's going out and doing all kinds of nuttiness, using his juice on some other people. Ed Brubaker of Captain America fandom and some other stuff, doing some Batman work here. So there you go. All right, that was box number 21. Next time we will do box number 22. 22 will finish up volume 1 of Batman. We'll do New 52, and we'll get into Rebirth Batman. So glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you have a great day.